Now, I wanted to switch to another fighter that you train, Deon Nicholson. I'm hearing a lot of great things about him. Previous fight, I heard like Evander Holyfield came out, or any Shavers came out, obviously Deontay. There's a lot of great heavyweights that came in. And
well, that was two things. Number one, Coach Cuz is Deon's trainer. I'm his advisor, so I'm part of the management team, and obviously I'm there to give Deon advice as he needs it. But Coach Cuz has done a great job with him. So first things first, I want to make sure Coach Cuz gets the credit there. Deon Nicholson is 11-0 with 11 knockouts. He's got hands about this big, heavyweight hands. He hits very hard. He's a cruiserweight. Plans are potentially to move him down to light heavyweight. And he is a very good fighter. That was the Hall of Fame show. So Evander, Deontay have both been inducted into Alabama's Boxing Hall of Fame. Deontay for his amateur career, Evander for his pro career. Ernie Shavers was being inducted for his pro career. And so they were all there, and they all got to see Deon. And Deon's moving up the rankings very fast. He's 11-0. He's 2 fights ago, he knocked out a guy that was 8-1. This last fight, he knocked out a guy that was 9-1. Knocked one of them out in the 3rd round, the other one out in the 1st round. So there's a lot of potential and a lot of interest in Deon Nicholson right now. And I think the future is very, very bright for this kid.
And on the social media, he has a tremendous amount already. Has there been in contacts with certain people reaching out, wanting to maybe get him, or is he one to do his own thing?
We're working that out now. I would just say stay tuned. There's going to be some big announcements coming for Deon Nicholson in the next probably week to 2.
Okay.
So there's just a little bit early right now, and I don't want to say anything, but within the next week or 2, I think we could have some big announcements.
Now with that, stablemates sometimes fighting on the same card. You know, is there a chance that Deontay Wilder may be on the same card?
Yeah, well, Deon has fought on Deontay's undercard before. Yeah. And that's certainly something we would be interested in doing. When he did that, it was on the shows when Deontay fought in Alabama.
Okay.
Gerald Washington undercard, maybe the Duopa undercard or the Areola undercard.
Okay.
But we're open to expand that and have Deon Nicholson fighting outside of just the Alabama undercard.
What's your thoughts of the state of the light heavyweight division? Alexander Govchik just won in a kind of unique way the other day to his opponent. He had a leg cramp, so he couldn't continue Saturday. Bivol just won against Joe Smith Jr., Artur Beterbiev, and as well as Sergey Kovalev has retained his reclaimed his title again as being a 3-time beating Alvarez, and now there's talks of Anthony Yarde.
Yeah, and the thing about it is all those guys you mentioned are foreign guys, you know. So I think that that a guy like Deon Nicholson could really make an American mark there. You've got also got
Marcus Brown,
you know, who's a big, strong southpaw, and he had a great fight, you know, with Badu Jack. So there could be a lot of interest there. I think Nicholson fits in very well in that picture. It's a little on the early side, but if 11-0 becomes 17-0, then and he's comfortable at light heavyweight, which is what we have to see. You know, once you make the move from cruiser to light heavy, that's a pretty big gap. That's not like going from, you know, 140 to 135. You're going from a max 200 to a max 75. That's a lot of weight. So Deon's not a big cruiserweight. He's about walks around at 190, 195. So if getting to 75, we're going to find out, does that drain him and make him really weak, or is he the biggest, strongest guy in the room? And if he's the biggest, strongest guy, and he feels great at 75, that's the future. Now,
one of the fights in that division is a lot of hype, I guess, in this fight with the potential of Anthony Yarde fighting Sergey Kovalev. Just seeing the fact that Anthony Yarde seems to be a fighter that hasn't been, quote unquote, I guess, proven based off resume, but seems to be talented from what many people see. How do you think that fight goes? I mean, Sergey Kovalev is definitely a veteran.
Yeah, I know Kovalev better than I know Anthony, so I don't know. I haven't seen him enough to really be able to tell you. But you know, Kovalev he's a handful for anybody. And I mean that's that fight where, again, it's kind of put up or shut up time. That's the make it or break it fight for a young fighter. if you can get through somebody like Kovalev, you belong. You're at the top.
Now, also, another person who's thinking about maybe fighting Kovalev was Canelo Alvarez. All these weight jumps, he's thinking about maybe going to 175 and challenging Kovalev. Is that too much for him?
I think that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. I think 60 is to me about as high as he should go.
You think you can compete at 168 when any of those guys? I know you fought Rocky Fielding, but many people don't consider that as a top.
I think 60 is his best weight.
60?
I think 60 is the best weight for Canelo.
Do you think he could
54 to 60.
Okay. Do you think he could beat Danny Jacobs in this upcoming fight? How do you have that fight going on?
I like Dan. You know, Danny's a friend of ours.
Okay.
So I think the question really is, if it goes the distance, you know, is Danny going to get a fair shake? That's the thing.
Would he have to knock him out?
I don't think he'd have to knock him out, but I think he would have to make a real big statement. I think it would have to be really, really obvious. Canelo is a great fighter, and he's gotten better and better with time. And I think the additional weight has helped him. I think 54 was getting to be a little bit much in terms of he can make it, but is he at full strength? And you look at the second Golovkin fight, and he was better. He was better than the first fight, and so I think it's a great fight. But I think Danny has to win convincingly if it's going to be a thing, where he can get a just decision. He's going to have to really win, because judges seem to love Canelo.
Absolutely.
And what he does, and I think Canelo takes a great shot. So I think it's going to be tough to get him out of there anyway. I think I don't think I've ever seen him really hurt.
Absolutely.
So he's a solid kind of guy.
And that fight's as close as it gets to being undisputed. A fight that is going to be up for undisputed is actually the women's fights. Clarissa Shields is coming up fighting Christina Hammer.
One more thing about Canelo.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
When he fought Golovkin, Deon Nicholson went to
with Triple G,
and did 3 weeks with Triple G. And for he was by far the youngest fighter in camp. He only had 5 professional fights at the time, but his body's exactly built the same as Canelo Alvarez. If you look at Deon Nicholson's body and Canelo Alvarez's body, it's almost identical. Deon's just bigger. So that's why we thought he would be beneficial to Abel and the guys at the Triple G camp. And I think he did well there and learned a lot. You're going to learn being in there with somebody as good as Triple G, and they taught him a lot, and he came back a better fighter for having been in the camp.
You think that Triple G just signed Dazn, announcing a fight coming soon? Do you think that Deon may potentially go back and help Triple G?
We're always. I mean, if Abel calls and we can help, we always want to help. He sent guys to us. We've sent guys to him. We've got a great relationship with Abel Sanchez. He's always been just a fantastic guy in terms of everything he says he's going to do, he does. His guys are always prepared. They're always dependable. They're good people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're just the kind of people you want to be around. I wish there was more of that type of vibe in boxing. Abel Sanchez is just he's a good dude, really good guy.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive, from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.